somewhere else, but this is where we found ourselves. Welcome to the local show. People you work with, people you know.
Welcome to a special edition of the Local Show here on GrassRoots Community Network. I'm Eric Scarvin, your host. Guys, this is our 19th anniversary show, and I'm so excited. We couldn't celebrate it in any more fine fashion than John Oates. Welcome back to the show, John.
Thank you, Eric. Great to see you,
as our guest of the week and
as usual.
1 hour special.
Yeah.
And it's been so fun hanging out prior to the show and kind of catching up. And
we don't waste all the good stories, did we?
No. We saved some juicy stuff for the show.
Good.
And I'm enjoying your series that you're playing now, An Evening of Song and Stories.
Yes.
And we'll talk about that.
Sure.
But, we might have to get a story here during the show.
I got stories.
At some point.
I got songs and I got stories.
Let's talk about athletic stories first, because
Okay.
we ran into each other recently.
Yeah,
I was
a few weeks ago
I was
when I was
just
out.
getting set to go do a snowshoe, and you were, I think, just finishing a hike.
Yeah, I just came down from the Tom Blake Trail. Skiing wasn't very good, so I put some cleats on and just walked up there just to get the heart pumping again.
Right.
So
How is it feeling? Like, I mean, when you're
Well,
trying to acclimate again
my problem is I'm on tour and I'm at sea level 98% of the time, and then I'm in the studio sitting around like a slug, and then I come out to Aspen and I try to jam it all in,
Right.
weekend warrior style. So I've got to pace myself a little bit. I always get out there and I just want to stay as fit as I can. So between skiing and doing a little hiking and in the summer, of course, it's the bikes, but
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then in the summer, you like to road bike.
I rode
Got a
bike
new
and mountain
Specialized last year.
bike. I got a nice newer. I hadn't had a new road bike in about 10 years.
Wow.
So I bought a new Specialized that's really lightweight, and it's got all the electric shifting and all the cool, the disc brakes. All
Nice.
that stuff was new for me. I still had old technology I was dealing with. And then then I sprung for the e-bike, the e-mountain bike, which is, I have to say, a lot of people criticize them, but for an old guy like me who still loves mountain biking, I started mountain biking in the 80s. So
Right.
I go way back. I actually have one of the first Gary Fisher titanium mountain bikes.
Wow.
That he built for me and Bob Weir way back in the late 80s.
Oh my gosh.
So and I kind of gave up on mountain biking because I just wasn't fit enough anymore, and the e-bike has changed all that.
Right.
So it's really fantastic. You just got to be careful where you ride, and got to be respectful about where you ride.
Yeah, it must be tricky because, I mean, when you have those short periods of time here, and like you say, you want to jam all those activities in, like, I mean, that's got to be kind of tricky in terms of just acclimating, not doing too much too soon, because you probably get, everyone gets excited when they get to Aspen.
Of course, you want to jam it all in,
uncork
of
and
course.
do that. So how do you kind of keep yourself, like,
Well,
training smart and not overdoing it?
Well, that's where the e-bike comes in.
Right.
And I tested myself because I live in Woody Creek, and so I'm on the road to Lanedo.
Yeah.
And so I've been riding those various rides for 20 years. So
Wow.
I figured the only way to test out this new e-bike was go on a ride that I was really familiar with and see how I did compared to the John Oates of 25 years ago, right? A much fitter version of me. And so I said, well, I'm just going to ride up to the top of Lanedo, and I'm just going to keep riding and see what happens. Well, I rode all the way up to Larkspur Mountain, and I was like, okay. I said, this is life-changing.
This is cool.
I would have never been able to ride up to the top of Larkspur on a regular mountain bike. Not right now,
Right.
So it was amazing. So there I am, riding. All of a sudden, I'm at the top of Larkspur Mountain. I'm riding around up there going, how much percentage do I got left on my battery?
Oh, battery life. Yeah,
But it doesn't matter because I was on the way down. I just
Right.
shut the darn thing off and just all the way
How
down.
fun.
It's awesome. Yeah.
How cool is that? Yeah. Well, that leads into another topic because we've talked about guys like Klaus Obermeyer in the past, and he skied on 103 years young last winter. He's around at 104 this winter. I'm not.
Amazing.
I haven't been able to confirm if he skied or not.
Yeah.
They're kind of keeping it low key, and I think his energy is variable at 104. Understandably.
Sure.
But how do you age not only gracefully but gloriously? Because, I'm in my 60s, you're a little older than myself.
Yes, I am.
We're still out doing the stuff, but
Yeah.
what would be a couple, pieces of advice? in terms of, and it doesn't need to just be limited to athletics, but aging in a way that's really respectful to yourself, the body as the temple, and kind of just in a glorious way where you're just energetic, you're happy, you're exuberant, you have energy. What are some ways to kind of age gloriously, not just gracefully?
Well, I mean, it's the one thing. Years ago, when I first came out to Colorado, when I was born and raised on the East Coast, and I skied a little bit as a kid on the East Coast, actually a lot on the East Coast. But when I came out to Colorado, I realized that the fitness level of the people who lived here was on a whole different level. And what I began to understand was, and it wasn't just, to get in shape to go skiing, because it was a lifestyle. It was all year round. It was just a kind of a commitment to being fit and to being healthy and to being outdoors. And so that's where I think I understood that you really had to make a commitment to kind of a holistic way of looking at being fit. And of course it has to do with eating and sleeping and, and doing all the good things you're supposed to do.
It's true.
But the reality of it is that my fitness regime never ends. It, if I'm not, the moment it's warm enough, I'll get on a bike or I'll go on a normal hike. When in the wintertime, I'm doing winter type activities, and I keep doing it. And I also took up yoga, which
nice.
I used to kind of poo-poo it back in the day.
Right.
But then during COVID, when I was really bored in the house, I opened up my iPad and found a couple yoga instructors, and I just followed along. And in the beginning, I was hopeless. I mean, I couldn't even do a downward dog. My heels were like this.
Right,
and
sure.
It was amazing. I kept with it. I stayed with it. Now I do it every morning. I get out of bed. The first thing I do, before coffee, before anything else, I'll do a 15-minute routine, very simple. And I kind of crafted my own version because I know what I need now, for my back and various things.
Tailor it.
And I just and I do it every day religiously, and it's life changing. It really is. It's made me more flexible. I think I've kept the gremlins away, with sore back, and I had a sore back for a bit, which wasn't fun, and learned how to modulate and protect it, through like guys, PT, people learning from them.
Right.
And, so it's an ongoing thing.
So it's really incorporating these things into a lifestyle.
That's right.
It's just day to day how you live. So it starts with yoga. You're going to try to get out for some cardio. You combine that with fueling, with smart food, right? Like smart food choices.
And some strengthening.
Right.
And as you gotten older, I didn't realize, as I was getting older, I was always kind of conscious of trying to keep my weight down, because it's hard to keep your weight down as you get older.
Yeah.
But you also have to maintain your muscle tone and muscle mass,
right.
Which I never used to think about, because you can lose weight, but maybe you're losing muscle weight, and that's not good. So I do very light weights, just enough to keep kind of fitness. I don't
keep the tone.
Keep tone. I don't go out of my way, and of course my yoga routine also incorporates some strengthening, with more like plyometric stuff,
Okay.
Yeah.
So it sounds pretty comprehensive. Like you've got the strength, you've got the flexibility, you've got the cardio, you've got the yoga in there, which is part of flexibility and balance. And
That's
yoga too,
thing.
the calming effect, that we think about, like with Bikram, for example, it's really athletic, but there's also the spiritual and mental parts of yoga, right? That many people may not recognize. They might just think it's like stretching or intense stretching. Mm-hmm. But can you speak to that as does it have a calming effect, like a grounding effect?
Meditate, just taking some time to disengage from your various technical robots. I call my phone my robot, my personal robot, because seriously, it's doing all sorts of things for me.
Right.
But to disengage from it, to stop, to disengage from the world, from the phone, from the TV, from the internet, all that. It's important to do. I don't do it enough. I should. But that 15 minutes in the morning when I get out of bed, that's a moment where there is no phone, there is no TV, there's no radio or internet. So even though I'm kind of focused on stretching and mobility, I'm also getting that mental break, to get me started for the day.
Like it's like a digital detox as well.
Yeah.
That's very cool. That's cool. Well, I think we're going to take a quick break. We got so much to get to. I mean, you've got a lot going on, man. I mean, it's like I was reading your press release, and then I was digging deeper, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how are we going to fit this in even in an hour special? So we got so much to get to. We're going to have some amazing live music.
Sure.
So I'm so looking forward to that. We're going to take our only break of the show, guys. I do want to thank our winter underwriters that have been just fantastic this winter. Many of them you've seen on the show and will be on yet this winter. So I do want to take a moment to thank Haiti Children, Highlands Ale House, Klug Properties, Paradise Bakery, Picken County Solid Waste Center, Red Brick Center for the Arts, Susie's Consignment Aspen, Sundog Athletics, Wheeler Opera House, and the White River Overland. We're going to take, again, our only break, guys. We'll be back in 2 minutes with John Oates and live music and so much more for our 19th anniversary, so don't go away. At the Wheeler Opera House, we set the stage for connections that create memories for our audiences, artists, and greater Aspen community. At the Wheeler Opera House, all are welcome. You're welcome to be a part of history.
I'm so passionate about this community. I absolutely love living here and raising my family here. It gives me a lot of pride to share this with my friends and my clients and help them achieve their dreams of owning an Aspen snowmass and enjoying this incredible lifestyle.
Want to live like a local? Help us reduce food waste, a major contributor to climate change.
You can help in 3 simple ways.
Plan menus carefully and only buy what you need.
Collect unused scraps for compost.
Buy ugly fruits and vegetables.
Reduce food waste.
Live like a local.
Red Brick Center for the Arts is Aspen's hub for creative activity, offering youth and adult art classes, gallery exhibitions, artist studios, and nonprofits. You can take a class, meet with artists, purchase art, and be a part of Aspen's art scene. More at redbrickaspen.com. Locally owned and operated and consistently voted #1 for après-ski, Highlands Ale House is the local ski bar, serving delicious drinks and comfort food, including pizza, burgers, salads, bowls, and more. Located at the base of Aspen Highlands. Brought to you by Paradise Bakery and Gelateria, serving Aspen for 42 years. White River Overland specializes in camper van upfitting, catering to mountain outdoor enthusiasts. WRO's builds are purpose-driven to enhance skiing, cycling, camping, climbing, and river adventures. WRO is nestled in the White River National Forest in Aspen.
Susie's Consignment in Aspen at 600 East Main. Same friendly faces, same great prices, and new items daily. See you at Susie's.
Welcome to the local show. People you work with, people you know.
We're back here on the local show, our 19th anniversary special. We've got John Oates back in the house. And it was cool because during COVID, it wasn't all bad, John. That was when we had the opportunity to sit down, have you on the local show for the first time because you weren't touring like crazy.
No,
you
came out to
down,
the mountains to get the fresh air.
Oh my gosh! And so it wasn't all bad. There was some silver linings that came out of that, and one of them was your song that you wrote. Yeah. And actually did all the different instruments on what's it called, Garage Band or something?
There's a program on a Mac computer called GarageBand. And it's a very simplistic program for people to be able to record almost semi-professionally, like a multi-track recording like you would do in a real studio, but you can do it on your laptop or whatever.
How cool.
I adopted it when it first started many, many years ago in the early 2000s when it was pretty primitive. And I got into it because I'm not much of an engineer, and I love the idea that I could record something really quick and then use it as a sketch pad, a musical sketch pad, so to speak.
Right.
And then I could go into the studio if I wanted and do it for real. But as the program got more and more sophisticated, and now it's actually pretty cool if you know how to use it. And since I've been using it for so long, so I recorded this song, and here again, I thought it was going to be a sketch, a musical sketch. And my publicist and social media person heard it and really liked it and said, you should release it. It's really good. And I said, well, it's not finished. I did it at home on GarageBand. And she said, no, it sounds good. And then I was invited to be an ambassador for Teen Cancer America. And they asked if I wanted to do something musically with them. With the kids, because there's a lot of musical component to a lot of the cancer survivor kids are very involved in music.
Okay.
And so I said, well, let's release this song and donate all the proceeds for the downloads and streaming to Teen Cancer America. So that's what we did.
And this is Get Your Smile On.
Get Your Smile On, yes.
Now, a question that came to mind right away when I saw Smile, I wanted to ask, was there any relationship at all with Sarah Smile?
No.
No, that was just another song with the words.
Other than the fact it was a Hall & Oates song. Not much. I mean, it's just, the word smile is just a nice sound.
It's just an upbeat.
It's a nice word. And now I wanted to make it a little bit more universal. It wasn't about a girl. It wasn't about one particular person. It was just about the idea of just being positive, just kind of creating a positive vibe that just said, smile, be happy.
Which is so relatable or... I guess, not appropriate, but yeah, I think appropriate's a good word for people coming out of cancer when you want to keep the attitude good, when you want to keep the vibe positive and healing and bring people up, right? Yeah. Lift them up.
Well, I
had an uplifting situation.
There was no, I had no intention, I had no idea that this is how the song would actually turn out and be used.
Right.
But it just seemed to work. It's the vibe of the song suited the way that the organization kind of keeps adding positive positive influence to people who are going through a very, very tough time.
Right. We have a video, but if you want to play the song, Get Your Smile On,
I can play it.
Would you be up for that?
Sure. We do the
and I'll just sit here smiling?
as they call it, the unplugged version?
The unplugged version.
I'm definitely unplugged. Look, kids, no wires.
There you go.
Okay.
This is the real deal, acoustic.
We do have a mic, yes.
So this is the acoustic edition of Get Your Smile On.
Yeah.
By John Oates.
Okay.
Written during COVID.
Yes.
Had no idea what would happen, but it happened for a reason.
But here we are.
Here we are.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Say, baby, get your smile on, smile it down on me. Baby, get your smile on, smile it down on me. Spread a little sunshine on a rainy day, oh yeah. Flash a little smile, blow the clouds away. Be a beacon in the night, be a ray of light. Said, baby, get your smile on, smile it down on me. 'Cause it looks so good on you, feels so good to me. Come and get your smile on. Yeah, get your smile on. Well, a smile is just a grin turned upside down. Oh yeah. If you're looking at some bad times, you can turn it all around. Be the sunshine on a cloudy day, be the dawn when the darkness fades. Say, baby, get your smile on, smile it down on me. Ooh, 'cause it looks so good on you, feels so good to me. Come and get your smile on, get your smile on, oh yeah. Come on, baby, so good on you, feels so good to me. Yeah, hey, hey, baby, get your smile. Oh, smile it down on me. 'Cause it looks so good on you, feels so good to me. Come and get your smile. Come on, baby, get your smile. Baby, get your smile. Lord, smile it down on me. Baby, get your smile. Smile it down on me. Smile it down. Ooh, baby, smile it down on me.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. It's just about being happy.
Yeah.
You know, a smile's an indicator of like things are good. I'm feeling happy today, feeling upbeat.
Yeah.
And it's so important, you know, that we drive those things that make us happy, like, you know, helping kids who have cancer. And in the video, the kids who appear are the cancer survivors, right?
Yeah, we put it out to them and say, you guys want to be in the video, just sing along to the song and we'll edit you into the video. And I did the video in like 2 hours on the streets in Nashville with a great friend of mine who's a video director. He's fantastic. And then at the very end, I don't know if you noticed, but I grabbed my wife Amy and
saw that.
Pulled her into the video. So
That's what I think. Amy just made a cameo right there.
She did. She didn't know she was making a cameo, which makes it.
She looked a little surprised.
It was even more fun because she was really surprised and it was really genuine.
It was authentic. Yeah. So cool. That's so cool. Well, in your in the press release that your awesome team has provided, in 1999, you set out for your solo career, and you produced 7 solo albums.
Yeah.
And they include Funk Shui, 100 Miles of Life, Mississippi Mile, the Bluesville Sessions, Good Road to Follow, Arkansas, which we talked about on a past episode, and Live from Nashville with the Good Road Band, which is your local Nashville band.
Yep.
How would you compare that, John, that part, and now currently, of course, to the career that you had with Daryl Hall, just in general terms, you know, comparing kind of one part of your career to kind of the solo part in general?
A lot of really my solo career is really has to do with my move to Nashville.
Okay.
The city and the people and the musicians who I have become friends with and been embraced by have really kind of helped me to redefine, or not redefine, but define myself as a solo artist and figure out who I could be outside of the collective of Hall & Oates.
Right.
The music that Daryl and I made, you know, obviously will live forever. And I'm so appreciative and so grateful for that. But at the same time, I don't want to live in the past, you know.
Right.
And I know the fans love the old songs. They want to hear their old favorites.
Yeah.
But for me, you know, those songs they're done. They're out there.
Yeah.
They'll be forever, you know, out there. And I want to make new music. And I want to, you know, as I've gotten older, I have a greater appreciation for the limitations of time. And I want to make sure that I do as much as I can while I still have the ability to do it.
Right. So the Nashville move helped like clarify or solidify like who you were as a solo artist. Brought that out in you.
It did.
It was like
It had
that's
to
why you wanted to spend more time there.
Yeah, because I was a roots musician before I met Daryl Hall. I played blues, folk music, bluegrass, things like that as a kid. That was my jam. And, you know, I played R&B as well. But when Daryl and I got together, we pooled our collective, our individual influences and created something different that was neither him nor me, but it was something of us. But then, you know, you kind of get lost in that collective, you know, as an individual. And I think he feels the same way. You know, he wants to be identified as an individual, and so do I. I think we've always wanted to be. And moving to Nashville, what happened was I got involved with a lot of great Americana roots musicians, people like Sam Bush, Jerry Douglas, Bela Fleck, Jim Lauderdale, and they had the same influences that I had as a kid. And all of a sudden, I tapped back into my earliest days.
Right.
And I said, wait a minute, this is a real authentic jumping off point for me musically. And I can take this early DNA and make it evolve into something new. And that's what I've been doing, basically.
Back to the roots.
Back to the roots to go forward.
Which is part of like roots reggae. And I also saw and we had talked about this too, and we touched on this, and you did a couple licks, the reggae edition of Maneater,
yeah,
which is another part of your solo career. You've kind of recreated Maneater with a reggae flair because you had spent some time in Jamaica, right?
Well, yeah. When I came back from Jamaica back in the early '80s, I got the idea for Maneater, and I thought it was going to be a reggae song.
Right.
And Daryl and I changed it around, and it became something else. Right. And I just thought it would be fun to go back. And I went to Kingston, Jamaica, and I recorded a version with some of the legends of reggae, the guys who played with Bob Marley and Toots and the Maytals and people like that. Wow. So that was fun to do and to really reimagine a song that has already been a big hit. And I've been releasing all these songs on the internet. And all those songs are on Spotify. I mean, people can stream them. In fact, last year I released six or seven digital singles, and I'm going to start releasing more this year.
I saw the video of the reggae edition of Maneater. That looks so much fun. And I'm trying to pick these guys out. I was like, that looks like Toots, or that looks like some of these reggae greats were in the room.
They were the players. The guitar player, Chena Smith, he played with Bob Marley and Toots. The bass player played with Toots and the Maytals.
Wow.
I mean, there were so many. These guys they were really the musicians behind those records.
That looked, I mean, how much fun was that? Like hanging out with those guys, that had to be like next level.
I actually don't remember much about it, to be honest with you.
Right. We know how that goes, man.
Spend a couple days in a very small room with a bunch of reggae musicians, and you probably won't remember a lot of what happened. But all I know is it turned out pretty good.
They like to say Irie. Are you feeling Irie, man? Which is kind of like the reggae happy is Irie.
Yeah.
So you could get like secondhand Irie. You could get first-hand
You get a lot
Irie.
of secondhand stuff.
Right, exactly.
There's all kinds of secondhand stuff happening.
Well, one of your other things, and one of your most recent or latest project, Folk-esque, which is supposed to be released in the early part of this year?
I've got an entire album of music that is, I call it folk-esque because it's not folk music, but it's kind of folky.
Ish. Like folkish.
Well, folkish sounded too weird to me.
Right.
Folk-esque also sounds weird to me, but I might change the title. But I have a lot of really cool songs that I'm going to put on. And a lot of these songs that I've had kind of simmering in the background, and I brought them all together and recorded them with some of the greatest players in Nashville. It's amazing, amazing people on the record. And so I'll be releasing it. If I don't release it as an album, I'm going to release it as a series of digital singles. Okay. But one way or the other, it's coming out.
So that's going to happen this year?
Right away, yeah.
In 2024?
Pretty soon, yeah.
Okay, cool. And speaking of timely, you've got your show coming up at the Youth Theater and Rifle on February 4th.
Yeah, they asked me to come back with my good buddy John Michel, who lives in Newcastle now.
Yeah.
And John and I have been playing since the late 90s together.
Wow.
He's an amazing, I mean, if you've been around Aspen for après-ski, you've probably seen him.
Yeah.
He's a great singer and guitar player, but he's also an amazing drummer and percussionist. Okay. So we just go out and do a show, and sometimes we have a cello player, sometimes we have a second guitar player.
Okay.
But at the Ute, it'll be just the two of us. And we were there, I think it was December of last year.
Yeah, that sounds
And
right.
they said, come back. And we said, hey, I'm in town. Let's do it again.
How cool is that? So that's going to be an evening of song and story?
But it's a matinee. It starts at 4 o'clock.
That's right. I saw that from 4 to 6, which is also awesome.
4 o'clock on Sunday, the 4th.
I love that. Because, like, I mean, for me and a lot of people, it's like I just don't want to get out at night. Like, I mean, you'd rather have an earlier evening. Hate to say getting old, but I mean, you just don't want to be out late at a 9:30, 10 o'clock show.
There's no football games.
Right.
And there's probably a good chance it's not going to snow.
Right.
So come down to Rifle at 4 o'clock to the Ute, and it'll be a fun couple hours of acoustic music.
So that's going to be super cool. So that's Youth Theater, February 4th, 4 to 6, an evening of song and stories.
Yeah.
John Oates and John Michelle.
John Michelle, yes.
John Michelle. And then, of course, you've got a full, like...
Well, then we go on tour. We go
Come-
on tour right away. Going to South by Southwest in Austin, then playing at the Willie Nelson Ranch for a great festival called the Luck Reunion, which is a really cool event. And then from there, we go on the Joe Bonamassa Blues Cruise.
Whoa.
We go down to Florida and jump on the big boat and head out to the Caribbean.
Wow.
And there's all kinds of cool people on that show. Of course, Joe Bonamassa's the host.
Oh, man.
And Grace Potter's on it, and some really great people, so it's going to be cool.
Wow. So you just stay busy and...
I like to stay busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever see yourself stopping? I mean, like, doing what you love in terms of music?
When I can't do it, I'll stop.
Right. Yeah. It's like, it sounds Klaus-like. Like, when I can't ski, I'll stop, but you just keep going. And like, what's your goal, like, with a song? Like, when you write a song, when you play a song, what do you hope that does? Like, for
well, every songwriter hopes that a song they write will become a classic and stand the test of time, and transcend the time that it was written or time that it was recorded or released. They're the great songs. Not many people get to do that, and not many songs get that, achieve that level. But what as a songwriter, what I want to do is, first of all, I mean, from the craftsmanship standpoint, I want to make sure that the music and the lyrics sound like they belong together.
Right, match up.
That there's something there, if the lyric is like on a song like Get Your Smile On, the groove has to be buoyant, it has to be bouncy, it has to be fun.
Right.
The chord changes have to accentuate the mood of the words. So there's a lot of subtleties going on there, but you just try to do your best, and sometimes it works out well, and sometimes there's stinkers.
Do you try to evoke emotion, like, with people? Do you try to get them to feel something with that?
You want to kind of get your personal emotions and your personal point of view across, but you don't want to do it in a way that's so individualistic for yourself that no one can relate to it.
Right.
So you're hoping to say something or do something emotionally that people somehow can then embrace on themselves
And relate to.
and and almost say, well, even if they're not songwriters, they can say, wow, if I could write a song, I would have written that, or that's capturing the feeling that I have,
Literally
So
strikes a chord within them,
Yeah.
that
that's
kind of thing.
when you reach people. That's when you have people say, what's a hit? That's what a hit is. A hit is when your personal expression jibes and evokes the same type of emotion from other people.
With a lot of other people, because you're talking about a hit means it like struck a chord with many people.
Yeah.
And they could relate to it on some level
Well,
in their own life.
That's why they call it popular.
Ah, there you go. Okay.
Right.
Well, are you ready for another song? And I'm just going to let you freestyle whatever you feel like.
I just came back from San Francisco yesterday. Bob Weir and friends organized a great event for the benefit of an old folkie named Ramblin' Jack Elliott. Now, Ramblin' Jack Elliott, he came up during the 60s, during the when the folk thing was kind of exploding in the Greenwich Village with Bob Dylan and Joan Baez and Dave Van Ronk, people like that. And he's getting up there in age, and he's good for Bob Weir. Bob's a great guy, and he wanted to do something to help Ramblin' Jack, and organize this amazing group of people. Jackson Browne was there, Ricky Lee Jones was there. So many really cool people, and they asked me to go out and do a song, and everyone had to do a Ramblin' Jack Elliott song.
Oh.
So I picked a song that Jack did. He covered an old blues by a guy named Furry Lewis, and Furry Lewis was really in the late 1920s, a blues man from the Delta. Mississippi Delta.
Wow.
And Jack did a kind of a finger-picking version of it. So I thought I kind of took it back to a little bit more of a Delta blues style. But so I can play that.
Love it.
Since I learned it, I might as well play it, right?
I love it.
All right. hurts my feet to walk it. Got the blues so bad, baby, hurt my feet to walk. Well, I wouldn't hurt me so bad, but it hurts my tongue to talk. Well, I feel like jumping through a keyhole through the door. Well, I feel like jumping through a keyhole through the door. Well, John Oates that your man would never know. Got the blues so bad, hurts my feet to walk. Got the blues so bad, hurts my feet to walk. Wouldn't hurt so bad, but it hurts my tongue to talk. Well, I caught the rambling, I caught the falling down. Yeah, well, I caught the rambling, caught the falling down. I never seen her turn, never seen her turn around. I never seen her turn. I never seen her turn around.
Yeah, love that, love that. Blues, you're like a blues man. You're a blues. I don't know about blues brother.
I am a man.
You're a man. You're a soul man.
And I play the blues.
You love the blues, though. It's like
Yeah,
we've talked about that before. That's a big part of your musical life.
I grew up listening to. I had a friend when I was in junior high school, and this was in the early '60s, who went off to college. His older brother went off to college in North Carolina, and that's when folk music was hitting the college campuses. Okay. And he came home one Christmas with all these albums of these people I had never heard of before, and I just borrowed all his records, and I just listened to them, and Mississippi John Hurt, and there was, it was early Dave Van Ronk, and the Weavers, and Joan Baez, and Hetty West, and all these really these amazing obscure people that I'd never heard of, and I just absorbed it all. And then when I went to Philadelphia as a kid and a teenager, I got to see a lot of these early performers performing at the coffee houses as they were coming through Philadelphia. So I was there kind of in the beginning of all this. So.
Right.
Yeah.
What are your other big influences in terms of music? Like we talked a little bit about reggae with the man, in the man-eater realm, and blues and pop, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think about it in terms of the different styles. To me, it's all American music. It's this continuum. It starts with the music that came out of the Deep South. The early days of the Delta blues and ragtime and things like that. And then, it kind of migrated up the Mississippi River, stopping in Memphis, and it evolved into, a little bit more of a big city blues and R&B, and on up to Chicago, where it became like Chicago blues, and then eventually rock and roll. But to me, it's just this big continuum. I don't see it as that different. I just see it as different versions of this great American music tradition.
Right. It's kind of like we went through these certain periods of music through American history.
That's right.
And you kind of like to build from each one of those.
And it reflects it reflects the culture, the American culture, because music has always somehow been like a reflection of American culture. Even today with pop music, you know, the music that kids are listening to, even what's on TikTok and rap. And, you know, rap is just urban folk music, you know.
Right.
You know, that's, to me it is anyway.
Right. So you're adjusting, like you can see it too on the videos, like you're incorporating some of the modern like TikTok elements and graphic elements, and we did the there was the video we showed in one show where it was the Sasquatch?
Oh,
I mean that
was a little detour.
Yeah,
that was a bit of a detour.
But there was some. It seems like modern culture influences in your music, and you're bringing that in more and more.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, you as a when you're a creative person, you always have your musical ear to the ground. You know, I like to listen to. You know, I went to, you know, my wife and I went over the holidays. We went to the Belly Up and saw Diplo. You know, the EDM disc jockey, and you know he was amazing. The music he played and how he crafted his show was incredible. So, you know, I'm very very open-minded about different styles.
Do you have heroes, or do you think we should be our own best hero?
Oh, I think everyone needs a hero.
Yeah.
You know? In fact, that sounds like a song. I better write that.
Yeah. Who are your modern heroes? I know you have a lot of from the past. You know, like you talk about Mississippi John Hurt. You've mentioned him a bunch of times, and other guys. But like, who are your modern day heroes?
I don't really have any modern day heroes.
Klaus?
Look, Klaus Obermeyer is a hero, yes. Yeah. You know, as an athlete, of course. Well, I'll give you another example. At this event that we just did in San Francisco, Joan Baez was there. Yeah. And I had never met her.
Wow.
I saw her walk in, and I was like, I just went up and hugged her. And because she was so influential to me when I was a kid. I listened to her records, and she introduced me to a lot of music that I had never heard before. So, and she's an amazing, I don't know, by the way, I will say, if you want to watch an incredible documentary, watch her documentary. Okay. She has a documentary, it's out on, I think it's on Prime. It's called I Am Noise, and what an amazing life she's led. Incredible person, and you know, her nonviolent. You know, she was involved with the nonviolent movement, the anti-Vietnam War. You know, the racial equality, Martin Luther King. You know, she walks the walk and talks the talk, and she's an incredible musician as well.
Are there any other of those iconic artists like that you haven't met that you've always wanted to meet over the years, but you just haven't run into each other? Is there anyone else like that you can kind of think of?
They're all dead, I think.
Right. Well, it's too late for that one.
Whoops.
I mean, Stevie Nicks is one that comes to mind for me because, I mean, for a lot of reasons. I mean, she's just got this, of course, gypsy-like, gorgeous, hair flowing in the wind, kind of mysterious beauty of her. But she came to Aspen a lot.
She played here last year.
Yeah, was here for the Labor Day Festival.
She's amazing.
Have you met her?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, you've met her. And what do you think about her?
She's great. She's incredible. I mean, she's Stevie Nicks. You know.
Yeah, she wrote Landslide here in Aspen and was inspired. And how has Aspen directly inspired you to write any songs? Like while you've been here, is there a song that you can think of? Like when she was here, she was inspired looking up the mountain to write Landslide. Can you think of a song like that?
I've written tons of songs.
A lot of them.
I wrote a song on my first solo album called Soul Slide, which I try to incorporate I tried to make it feel like the feeling that I got when I was telemark skiing.
All right, nice.
You know, that kind of feeling where you take a big giant step and you go like 25 feet. You know, it's kind of hard to describe, but I wrote a song called Soul Slide with a friend of mine.
We actually have a picture of a classic shot of you at the top of the mountain with your guitar, and you're in your telly boots.
Oh yeah,
and you're doing like a telly dip, dropping the knee.
I actually skied with the guitar.
Oh, really? You skied with the guitar? Highland Bowls in the background.
Yeah, I was skiing powder on a little ridge there. And, I had a good my Lynn Goldsmith, who's an amazing photographer. She came up, and I had the guitar around my neck and no poles, and just, just skied a little bit. It was fun.
How cool is that?
But, no, I just, I wrote this song with Joe Henry, who lives in Woody Creek. And we wrote a song called Sonny Terry and Brownie McGee, which we did during COVID as well, which I play all the time. I love that song. Aspen's been inspirational on a lot of levels for me. And, it has a great music history with, the guys, the Eagles and Jimmy Buffett and, very amazing, a lot of amazing musicians who have been coming through here and, been inspired by the natural beauty and the crazy culture of Aspen's past.
Were you inspired by John Denver at all?
John Denver and we were on the same label on RCA Records. Okay. John was the big star. He had been on the label, and Daryl and I had just been signed to it.
Oh, interesting.
And I met John, and I also became friends with a lot of the players that he played with over the years. John Denver was an incredible person, and a real. I saw him in 1968 in Snowmass, my first trip to Aspen.
Wow.
I came out on a college ski trip.
Oh my gosh.
And I had heard that there was a guy, a folk singer playing, and his name was John Denver. And I thought, wait a minute, I'm in Colorado and there's a guy named Denver? I thought, it just seemed too...
Yeah, wait a minute.
Yes. And I went to see him in a little bar in Snowmass. Snowmass, I think, had just opened.
Wow.
If it didn't open...
Yeah, that was late 60s. Exactly.
68 or 67.
Exactly, 68.
So, there was nothing in Snowmass. It was just like a bar and, a restaurant here and there. I can't remember much about it, but it was so long ago. But I remember him singing, saying how he had just recorded a song written a song that Peter, Paul, and Mary recorded. And it was Leaving on a Jet Plane.
Oh, man.
And it was before it became a hit. So, and then, a few years ago, I was invited to help induct him into the Colorado Hall of Fame, and so I played "Leaving on a Jet Plane." So I do my own version of that song. So,
man, yeah, I mean, it's like there's nothing more Colorado like than John Denver.
No,
I mean, he's just like
he epitomizes. Yeah.
He was like the guy.
He was the guy. A great person. I mean, he did a lot of really. Great things in terms of like his the Institute and the things that he started, and he was ecologically minded way back, and he was a really, really interesting person.
Yeah. Let's talk about the important. I don't want to save time for one more song if you're up for it, but the importance of family. And we talked about this in a past show. Like during COVID, it was so intense, and we're hunkered down with whoever our family was at the time.
Yeah.
For me, it was my dogs, me and my dogs, and,
right.
and that kind of thing. But coming out of that, do you sense like a stronger family bond? With your wife Amy and your son. I forget your son's name. Tanner, that's right. Tanner's now in his 20s?
He's almost 30.
He's almost 30.
Yeah.
How did that change, like during COVID, and what do you think about the importance of family today?
Well, it means everything. I mean, our son by when COVID hit, he's already out of college and working, and so we didn't see a lot of him. But he did come out in the summer. So he could get out of the city because he lives in D.C.
Okay.
And breathe some clean mountain air. We all came. I spent a lot of COVID out here in Colorado because who wants to be in a city when you can be here, right? Exactly. But it's just listen. My wife and I will be celebrating almost 30 years of marriage next year.
Congratulations.
So it's nice, and
wow.
we're still. She's an incredible woman, and she helps me in so many ways. She's really strong and really smart, and so I'm a lucky guy to have that.
Yeah, a lifetime partner like that, and obviously someone who has to have the bandwidth to be able to handle John Oates. Yeah, because you're a legend. No. You've got so much going on to this day.
Listen, Eric, I'm definitely not a legend at home. I can tell you.
Well, then ground you too, right?
Oh, yeah.
With the grounding at
sure,
home.
Sure.
And you're a legend. Until you walked into the door, and then it's John. Hey, you need to
take out the trash.
Yeah, can you take out the trash?
Right,
That's just regular John.
Oh yeah.
So do you get is there times where you just get like, I wish no one knew me? I mean, do you ever have? I mean, I would imagine just naturally when you're in public.
Well, it's interesting. I've lived in places where it's not that big a deal. I've lived in New York City,
right,
where people don't really care.
And kind of like Aspen.
Then Aspen, where there's so many celebrities and famous people.
Right.
People don't care that much.
Right.
And now I live in Nashville, and it's the exact same thing. You know, I'll get a really funny story about Nashville.
Yeah,
a
go for
a
it.
few years ago, you know TMZ?
Yeah.
When they always do, they try to capture, get these of celebrities and get them on camera, and the celebrities are always like putting up their hoodies
Trying to
and
hide, yeah,
running
trying to be
away.
incognito.
Well, they came to Nashville a few years back, and it didn't work because every time they run into a country star coming out of a restaurant, the country star would stop and go, "Yeah, let me tell you about my new album I'm releasing." and they were like, these guys were like, nobody ran away from them.
They're not trying to duck them.
No,
They're just going direct, like, hey, let's talk.
So they left. I thought that was pretty funny.
They're like our system, our system isn't working here.
No.
Our whole angle
Nobody
isn't
was
happening.
running away from them. It was funny.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'd love to hear a third song while we still have a little more time.
You want one more song? Well,
Yeah.
How about if I do the John Denver song?
Love it. Love it.
Because I have to do it in a kind of Philadelphia R&B style.
Okay.
Because I can't do it anywhere near John Denver style.
Hey, man, use your own style.
All my bags are packed and I'm ready to go. I'm standing here outside your door. Hate to wake you up to say goodbye, but the dawn is breaking and it's early morning. Taxi's waiting, blowing his horn. Ever I'm so lonesome I could cry. So kiss me, girl, and smile for me. Tell me that you're gonna wait for me. Hold me like you're never gonna let me go. 'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know if I'll be back again. Oh, baby, girl, I really hate to go. Girl, I really hate to go. Girl, I really hate to go. Yeah, been so many times let you down. So many times I've played around. Tell you now, just don't mean a thing. 'Cause every place I go, I think of you. 'Cause every song I sing, I sing for you. When I come back, I'll bring your wedding ring. So kiss me, girl, and smile for me. Tell me that you're gonna wait for me. Hold me like you're never gonna let me go. 'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know if I'll be back again. Oh, baby, girl, I really hate to go. Girl, I really hate to go. Girl, I really hate to go. Ooh, don't you know that I'm leaving on a jet plane? Don't know if I'll be coming back again. Girl, I really hate to go. Girl, I really hate to go.
Yeah, I love that. Very cool. Very cool.
Jazzy version.
A little jazzy version of Leaving on a Jet Plane?
Yeah.
That's very cool. You were chosen as the international representative for Movember.
Yes, I was.
And you wrote a song, Pushing a Rock.
Yeah.
About life's challenge. I watched that video today too. About life's
struggle,
challenges.
Overcoming struggle, yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about that because I went through personally some pretty tough losses myself this fall. I lost both my dogs that I had in my life for 10 years together. Sammy and Luna, and we all go through our tough times in life with loss and different challenges. And can you talk a little bit about like pushing a rock and some of the ways, positive ways to deal with those challenges?
Well, I wrote that song with another guy named Nathan Chapman, who was Taylor Swift's first producer.
Okay.
Worked with her when she was 13 years old and took her through her first few albums. And she had moved on. And I thought maybe he was struggling in a way of finding his creative self, whatever his next creative move was going to be. And I thought an idea about overcoming struggle might be a good theme for a song. And we wrote it together, and I really just felt that it just kind of, I think we nailed it, and it was not intended to be any more than that. And when I was asked to be an international spokesperson for Movember, which is the men's health movement, has to do with growing a mustache.
Yeah.
My first question was, what took you so long? I figure since I'm one of the patron saints of mustaches.
Exactly. The mustache had a life of its own,
yes,
almost,
exactly.
back in the day.
And then I had the song, and I thought, well, if we're talking about men's health movement and struggle and overcoming a lot of things that a lot of men don't like to discuss and talk about, I threw the idea out, hey, I've got this song. Maybe you want to use it. And so they used it as a theme song for last year's Movember movement, which was nice.
I like it. I like it. I know for me it helps a lot to talk about these things, with people that, that you love and that love you, and, those kinds of things. And what are some other like tools that you use, through the really tough times? I mean, I know we had COVID, we talked about that, but like personal tough times in your life, how do you best deal with that?
My wife helps a lot. She really does.
Yeah.
I can lean on her for advice, and she's a farm girl from the Midwest, so she's got good Midwest farm sense.
I like that.
But we all have struggles, and I don't care who you are, where you are in life, your level of success or non. There's going to be something you're going to have to overcome. And I think strategies, working personal strategies to figure out how to overcome the challenges in life, or that is the challenge in life. It sounds redundant, but I guess that's true.
But to have that key person or persons, right, that can help you out, that can support you.
You've got to have a support system,
Yeah.
And I don't care, whether it's in business or in emotions. Yes, you definitely need, and you need to, hopefully, you need to be able to not be afraid to be vulnerable enough to express it.
Yeah, true. I mean, you got to be able to open up so you can get that assistance,
Sure.
And for me too, with grief and loss, to see a person like I see Kathleen Callahan. Shout out to Kathleen. She's had a lot of deep loss in her own family and life, and to see her and talk to her every week or two is really hugely valuable at the professional level. As we close the show now, John, we're down to like a minute to go. Any closing advice, like for the new year? We're just embarking on 2024. Just kind of, I guess, happiness. Like, how do you stay upbeat and happy and uplifted? And maybe a couple tips for our viewers.
I just appreciate the fact that I'm a very fortunate person. I have my health, and I have, as you said, I have my family, and I have my creativity, which I can lean on when I need to express myself. I think one of the worst situations would be when people are locked and can't really express themselves, and it builds up inside, and it can be like very toxic. I think it's very important to just be open and wear your heart on your sleeve, and don't be embarrassed about it, and don't be afraid to ask for advice, and I don't want to sound like the old man on the mountain, but I guess I am in a way, right?
Well, right. You've had such an amazing life and amazing lifetime experiences, and I think to release that creativity, right? Some people don't know how to do it. So maybe like a place like the Red Brick, where we're sitting now, where you can like learn maybe some skills or some different
Never
things.
be afraid of learning.
Right.
I think that's the mark of people who stay young.
Yeah.
They're always curious. They're always open to looking for new possibilities. Right. I think that's a really important component of it.
Yeah. So coming up, you'll have to stay tuned, John.
Yes.
Because in the month of February, Sarah Roy, who's the executive director of the Red Brick, is coming on to the local show. We're going to try fencing for the first time with an instructor.
I always wanted to do that.
Okay, well, I'll give you the date. So if you're around, you can come in and join us.
We're
going to take a fencing lesson during the
short
show.
Little arms, I'd probably be really bad at it, but anyway.
But he'll learn, we'll learn the finer techniques and learn something new.
That's very cool.
I had Mike Tierney, our buddy Mike, who works on Highlands Patrol, and he tried to get me on a unicycle during a show, and I think I knocked down one or two of the old cameras on the set. But you're right, learning new things, learning how to express yourself creatively. I did bake you cookies, John, because I knew that was most of the reason you came back.
Well, it's not the only reason, but it's a big reason.
A big part. No, a primary driver.
Folks out there in television land, Eric can bake a mean cookie.
Oh, thank you.
Right now. Those cookies are so good. In fact, I'm going to freeze half of them because if I don't, I'll just eat them all. So, yeah.
But one last thing. To earn the cookies, we're almost to the end. Okay. A shout out to my brother for his 60th birthday coming up in about a week.
All right.
So could you give Brian Scarvin a shout out?
Brian? Sure.
Brian Scarvin.
Okay, ready? Happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Brian. To you.
I love it. I know that's going to be his favorite song of this show. So thank you so much, John Oates. Did you have fun on the show?
Okay, it's great. No, awesome.
This is so fun.
It's always great.
Buddy, and I got you a surprise, too.
Woo.
So it's the cookies and a surprise.
I know what they are.
Well, we're going to have some fun right after we sign off here.
I need a new set of cleats.
This was the idea when I saw you a few weeks ago.
The cleats that I had were my wife's. I could barely get them on my feet.
All right.
I was like stretching them to get them over my boots. Awesome.
All right, man.
Thank
you, John Oates, and all you do. I'm serious. I really appreciate you. And thank you guys for watching our 19th anniversary edition of The Local Show. At the Wheeler Opera House, we set the stage for connections that create memories for our audiences, artists, and greater Aspen community. At the Wheeler Opera House, all are welcome. You're welcome to be a part of history.
I'm so passionate about this community. I absolutely love living here and raising my family here. It gives me a lot of pride to share this with my friends and my clients and help them achieve their dreams of owning an Aspen snowmass and enjoying this incredible lifestyle.
Join the string beans in helping reduce food waste in our community.
Plan menus carefully and only buy what you need.
Collect unused scraps for compost.
Ask for smaller portions in restaurants.
Take home leftovers to eat later.
Donate unopened food to our food bank.
Let's work in concert to reduce food waste.
Sundog Athletics, Aspen's adventure sports school and snowshoeing specialists since 1996.
Welcome to the